Hello, welcome back. Today in this lesson, we're going to look at a really simple, straightforward, catchy rock tune, but it has some devices in it that really propel it forward and give the song energy and momentum and turned it into a hit. It was a really big hit song for this band in the 90s, probably their biggest hit, and it's Ball and Chain by the band Social Distortion. So it's a rock song. Social Distortion come out of that kind of early 90s punk kind of thing, but they weren't really fast, heavy, kind of like Green Day kind of punk. Mike Ness, the lead singer songwriter for Social Distortion, was very country inspired. He put out an album after Social Distortion had been famous and made several albums, and he put out a solo album called Under the Influences, and it was all songs that he grew up listening to and playing and that influenced his songwriting, and the majority of them are old country tunes. So we're gonna see that in this classic kind of punk rock 90s rock tune, it's actually a country song. It uses a country progression, but it uses also some kind of just tricks that professional musicians know and professional songwriters know to make a 3-chord song something special, something that draws the listener along on the journey of the tune and builds it as it goes. So we're going to look at what those devices are. And I'm telling you right now, they're all rhythmic. It's rhythm and dynamics. Those are the two things we're going to be looking at in this lesson. How we can take a 3-chord song and change where we put the accent on the rhythm to distinguish a verse section from a chorus section, because the chorus has the same 3 chords. There's no difference. It's just the verse part changes into a more open chorus melody than the more straightforward, busy verse melody. So the chorus opens up with bigger chords, as choruses tend to do. They tend to be big and open and as loud as the song is going to be, generally. And then the verse, we're going to work on dynamics. And when we talk about dynamics in terms of this lesson, we'll just say that there's 3 levels, okay? And we'll start at level 1, we'll go up to level 2, and then level 3 in the chorus will be our loudest level that we'll play at. So let me just give you kind of an example of dynamics. So that'll work. So this song is in D flat, and it's just a 1-5-4. That's how you know it's a country tune. 1-4-5, a lot of blues tunes in 1-4-5, a lot of gospel tunes, a lot of Americana, definitely blues for sure though, but that 1-5-4 is definitely more country folk, So all we're doing there, and they're power chords. I want to make that clear. I'll turn up so you can hear this. One of the things we need to practice in this lesson is only playing on 3 strings as we strum. This is a rock tune, so it's just power chords following a country progression. So we're going to be playing on the D flat chord. We'll be playing on the A, the D, and the G string. We do not want to hit the B string. Here's what it should sound like. I'm not hitting that note. If I played 4 strings, it would sound like this. And we get that jangly, right? That note doesn't really go with the chord. It's not bad, it's not terrible, but it's not right. So we keep it to the root, 5th, and octave. Power chord. And then we go down to the E, A, and D strings and just play those 3 strings. So we're just going to go from the D flat to the A flat. Now we're just playing on those 3 strings, E, A, and D, but we're hitting the D on the upstroke. And the same thing with when we're on the D flat, we're hitting the G string on the upstroke. So let's talk real quick about strong beat, weak beat theory. If we're playing 4/4 time, right? 1 beat, 2 beats, 3 beats, 4 beats in a measure. Generally, it's considered that the 1 and the 3 are considered strong beats because that's where the kick drum hits on the 1 and the 3. If you listen to the drummer, and then they hit the snare on the 2 and the 4 generally, and that's called the backbeat. And so when you listen, like people clapping along to a song, they don't clap 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They clap on the backbeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and it's that backbeat that really, when they talk about playing ahead of the beat or behind the beat, and a lot of heavy grooving music, it doesn't matter if it's blues, country, rock, soul, whatever, it's behind the beat. That 2 and that 4 where that snare comes down is just like milliseconds right behind where it should be. And it gives the song a big, open, kind of loping feel. And that backbeat comes, there's like a expectation lingering. And then that backbeat hits, a little later than you expected. But it creates a feel, this feel called playing behind the beat. And we're doing that in this song. So the 2s and the 4s are considered the weak beats. In kind of general setting of bands, the bass plays on the 1 and the 3. They could play on the 2 and the 4, but they're going to focus on playing the root note and the 5th on the 1 and the 3 and really syncing those chord tones. Definitely the root on the 1. And then the guitar has more flexibility, and they generally hit on the 2 and the 4, right? They may, like with this, what we're doing with this chorus pattern, we're playing on the 1, the 2, the 3, and 4, but we're emphasizing the 2, the weak beat. We're finding that space between the bass and the drums, right? And we're not competing with the kick drum on the 1 and the 3, and we're emphasizing that snare beat on the 2. This is a 3-chord song, man, a 1-5-4, basically a country tune, or country progression. And the way they spice it up and propel it is by accenting certain beats. In some verses, they accent the strong beat, the 3, and in some verses, they switch and accent the 2, right, in the middle of the verse section. And that propels the song because the listener's been hearing this laid back kind of landing on the 3, and now all of a sudden landing on the 2 gives it more forward emphasis, right? We were talking about playing behind the beat, right? Kind of playing on the 2, you'll hear it, how it kind of propels the song after you've been listening to the emphasis on the 3, okay? So what does that sound like? Sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're just going to come in at that dynamic level of 3. Remember we talked about the chorus being our highest level. So the song starts, big and open, kind of at that 3 level, but then it plays the exact same riff. It just brings it down in dynamics. So we go from... And that last D in the turnaround, that's where the changes in dynamics happen. Because it goes for like 2 bars. So the first bar is loud, and the next bar it kind of silences it. I used to use my palm to silence it, not totally dampen it, but just take some of the ring out of it. If you lay your palm right on the part of the bridge where the strings cross the saddles and just roll your palm forward, you can dampen the volume. It's not a palm mute where we take the fleshy part of our hand and put it on the strings, where you can raise your palm up and change we're actually purposely quieting the strings. It's a different technique. So plant your hand on the saddles and just roll it forward, and it brings the volume down, so you're ready for the lower volume in the verse without cutting out the chord completely. Well, it's been 10 years and 1,000 tears. Now I'm just lightening my attack to get a lower dynamic. I could also roll off the volume pot a little bit with my pinky. Well, it's been 10 years and 1,000 tears. Look at the mess I'm in. A broken nose and a broken heart, an empty bottle of gin. Now it switches to put the emphasis on the two. The second half of the lyrics, the intensity and dynamics come up, and it hits the two. Well, I sit and I pray. It keeps emphasizing the two until the chorus, and the chorus emphasizes the two. That's where the accent is. So the second half of the lyrics brings up the dynamics, switches to emphasizing the two to prepare us to go even louder in dynamics and keep emphasizing the two in the chorus. So from the beginning, emphasizing the three. Well, it's been 10 years and 1,003. Look at the three men. Now look at the rhythm too. We're not playing the same rhythm on all three chords. It's not. When we come down to the 5, we have to change the rhythm to fit the vocal melody. Well, it's been 10 years and 1,000 tears. Look at the mess I'm in. So it's a double downbeat on the 1 and 2. Look at the mess I'm. And then there's a little pause, a rest at the end that accent's coming in on the 1 on the next 1 chord. Look at the mess I'm in. And if you just sing the lyrics and play the song to the lyrics, you'll get it. You don't have to think about it. So let's play through this. Really? Ready? All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3. Volume down. Well, it's been 10 years and 1,000 tears. Look at the mess I'm in. A broken nose, a broken heart, an empty bottle of gin. Well, I sit and I pray in a broken down Chevrolet, thinking to myself, there's got to be another way. Take away this ball and chain. 'Cause I'm sick and I'm tired, and I can't take any more pain. Take away the devil to return again. Take away, take away. Take away this bow and chain. it just keeps doing that throughout all of the verses. It doesn't change. The only thing that I think it does differently, if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of songs do this, it comes out of the verse in the third verse, and it just does. It stays at like level 2 volume. It just stays loud. It doesn't, because the song, you came out of a guitar solo, and you're going back into the song, and you don't want to bring the volume down, and you don't want to bring the dynamics down, because it's the end of the song. You want it to end big, and that guitar solo is building to something, right? And you don't want that something to be a cliff that then all that energy built by the guitar solo, you just fall off and bring the song back down real low. So it kind of comes out of that solo into that big open verse like it starts at the song, and it just stays at that intensity. It doesn't come back down. So that's a trick that a lot of bands do. I do it all the time in my songwriting, where the third verse is different. So I hope this lesson was helpful. I hope you guys learned some little tricks, that a lot of songwriters and professional musicians use to take a simple 3-chord tune and give it some life, give it some pep, give it some energy, and the basic standard practices that you're going to see, so that when you go into a position with experienced players, like you're going into a jam or you're going to audition for a band, and maybe you're not that experienced of a player or whatever, now you kind of see what they're going to be doing and what they're going to be expecting if they're more seasoned, professional, experienced players. When you listen to their songs, or you listen to cover songs that they're playing, you're going to see that 9 times out of 10 they're using dynamics to change the song. So it's not enough just to learn the riff of the tune. I tend to think there's 5 levels of dynamics, and I've talked about this before. When I've always practiced, for this song, I was just saying 3, because we got level 1 on the verse, level 2, second part of the verse, and then 3 at the chorus. But when I think about like actually soloing and playing melodies and playing something other than a hard rock rhythm with a bunch of distortion, then I think more in terms of super soft, like 1, and then maybe 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5 would be my hardest attack. But you also want to mix, right? You don't want to just play hard all the time, and you don't want to just play soft all the time. You want to mix them up, right? Draw them in with some and then build up. A little heavier, and then maybe go back to light. Build up again. And now build up a little more. And just go back and forth. About dynamics, and it all comes from your right hand, and it's something you should definitely know and work on, and you'll just get so much more out of the instrument and so much more out of your expression by having that in your little tool bag. There's 2 things to work on in this lesson: your right hand dynamics while going through the rhythms, and your right hand attack, keeping it tight and just playing 3 strings. Also, quick cheater note. Song is in D flat, yes? Well, if you don't do something to silence this E string, and you come down to play that D in the middle of the song, there's a chance you're going to hit that E string. And it's not going to sound good, right? So as a professional musician, what do you want to do? At least push your finger over to silence it. You don't have to hold it down, but just extend your first finger so that it deadens it. So if you do accidentally hit that string, no one's gonna know. But we really want to practice on hitting the 3 strings that we're working on. But what I do, if I'm playing a chord, a power chord, with its root on the A string or the D string, I extend down and grab the 5th, okay? Because now, if I have options. I can play the 3 strings, or I can hit the the 5, blow it, and just make it heavier, right? Same exact chord progression, but it's just a little heavier. Here's the normal. Here's with the 5th. Just a way to make it more hard rock, that's all. So I hope this lesson was helpful. Thank you guys so much for coming by. See you next time.